Hey YouTube, what's up? It's CS back here with another installment, and here are my predictions for UFC on FX Maynard versus Guida. Alrighty folks, well, what do you guys think of this one? In my opinion, it is definitely a step up from the last card, at least on paper. Let's hope it at least becomes exciting and half the card doesn't gas or there isn't any discrepancies with the officiating or some shit. I want to see a nice clean card, but of course, exciting. Let's see. Who knows? I don't know about y'all, but most of these guys, in my opinion, are UFC caliber. Again, unlike the last card. So, yeah, I actually have some expectations for this one, although it is free. I actually like the matchmaking on it as well. Hopefully, we see some cool shit go down. I do not agree with Hatsu, Hioki, and Ricardo Lamas being on the preliminary card for obvious reasons. But, hey, you know, I can get by with that because at least, you know, there's some bona fide top 10, top 15 talent on that thing. So, kind of makes the preliminary card look a little bit respectable, but then again, I really can't hate on the main card matchups, except for maybe the co-main event between Sam Stout and Spencer Fisher. That should not be co-main eventing nowadays. I understand the UFC is trying to make co-main event out of nothing and make you all care about it. However, if you do know your stuff, you shouldn't be caring about it. Real talk. So yeah, at least put Hatsu, Hioki, and Ricardo Lamas on that preliminary card if you will. But then again, I don't mind because I'm actually looking to the preliminary card. Looking forward to the preliminary card because of that shit. But let's just get to this guy starting off at the top between lightweights Gray Maynard and Clay Guida in the main event. Alrighty folks, now I don't know about you, but I actually like this main event a lot. I think it is significant for the lightweight division, which is obviously stacked. You have Gray Maynard, who's a bona fide top 5. Just take a look at his track record. And on the other side, you have Clay Guida, who has a win over, you know, potential contenders in Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis already. So yeah, in my opinion, that just makes this main event mean a lot more, you know, a little bit more prestige there. Solid wins over Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis aren't anything to, you know, scoff at. But do you think Clay Guida has what it takes to possibly UD Gray Maynard or perhaps finish him? Personally, I don't think so. I just don't think Clay Guida is gifted enough in the areas he's good at to win. And what I mean the areas he's good at, you know, I mean his wrestling, I don't think he can out-wrestle the stronger and more technically sound wrestler in Gray Maynard. And I don't think he can catch Gray Maynard in the sub. Gray Maynard is just a relentless wrestler. He pressures guys too much. And I don't see Clay Guida seeing an opening from the bottom and potentially grabbing a leg or, you know, getting Gray's back at all. I think Gray's going to be too smart on the ground. He's been training with Andre Pederneiras, you know, down at Novo União. He got his blue belt there. He's training with some real bulls there in terms of sub-artists. I doubt Clay Guida can get anything off in terms of submissions, although I think that's the one area he's better at. In terms of the stand-up, I got to go with Gray all day. Clay Guida is kind of a flash fighter in terms of his stand-up. You know, he'll throw combinations here or there, try to score, try to make it look like he's scoring, moving around a lot. However, in my opinion, he really isn't doing much. I don't think that shit's effective, and mostly it's because he's not hurting the other guy. He usually just does that shit to try to set up one of his takedown attempts. And technically, as a wrestler, I don't think he's that good. However, he does change levels all right, and he's able to get guys down who don't have the greatest wrestling, but he's not going to out-wrestle technically better wrestlers and bigger ones like a Ben Henderson. We saw that turned out, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it again against Gray Maynard, who I already said is bigger and technically better. Look for Gray to out-wrestle the shit out of Clay Guida when he feels like it. However, I think he is going to try to keep this standing for the most part. I think Gray's just going to look for that home run, and I think he'll catch Clay Guida here and there in the first maybe 2 or 3 rounds. I think he does enough of beating up Clay Guida with the bigger shots on the feet to win a unanimous decision, at least 48-47. I can see him gassing towards the later part of the rounds because his style is physically demanding. You know, he throws hard and he, you know, goes for those big-ass takedowns. And, you know, the guy's a big dude for lightweight. A lot of oxygen has to flow through that blood. He will gas, in my opinion. And Clay Guida is relentless when it comes to his gas tank. However, I just don't think he's going to be able to garner, you know, enough rounds in the end after, you know, Gray finally runs out of gas. And maybe Clay can get a sub for a TKO off late if Gray is that tired. But, you know, I think Gray's hungry. I think he's going to come motivated. I think we're going to see one of the better Gray Maynards we've seen in a while. So look for Gray Maynard to win via UD again, at least 48-47. Sprawl and brawl and go for takedowns at the end of rounds. Alrighty, folks. Next up, you already know how I feel about this co-main event: Sam Stout versus Spencer Fisher in another lightweight matchup. Guys, Spencer Fisher is definitely one of my favorite fighters from 4 or 5 years back. He was a killer. Guy had such a nice killer instinct no matter where it was, on the ground and on the feet. He tried to get inside, land some power combinations. He had decent leg kicks as well. And he was right up in Sam Stout's face in the second fight, outstriking him. But of course, in the first fight, he wasn't feeling well, so that's why he didn't look too good. But Spencer Fisher, in his prime, definitely against Sam Stout any day. However, Sam Stout, really hasn't, improved as a fighter, kind of has plateaued, and really hasn't got worse or anything. He's just been the same kind of guy, just a jab, low kick, Sean Tompkins kind of fighter, rest in peace. And, he just tries to keep guys at distance and just try to land that all day. Some combinations here and there, but really doesn't try to overcommit to his strikes. He'll just win a points battle with his kickboxing. I'm not saying it's boring. It's just, I don't think it's that effective nowadays. Guys who are catching up to him, even guys who are just winning on aggression are beating him. Guys like Thiago Tavares, guys who are just primarily grapplers before, and now they're beating him on the feet. And if you're Sam Stout, that's not good because Thiago Tavares just outstruck you. So, what can I say about Sam Stout? It's just he has to evolve, and I don't think he has, but I still think he has enough to beat Spencer Fisher, who is just unmotivated nowadays and just not as physically fit as he once was. Spencer Fisher was kind of, physically imposing as a lightweight 4 or 5 years ago. His physique was pretty good. Nowadays, it's just like, wow, he looks like the definition of a fallen fighter. I don't think he's going to come motivated for this fight, at least physically. I think he's going to try to bring it, but I think Sam Stout's still going to be too much for him. Do I want Spencer Fisher to win? Yeah, because he was, again, one of my favorite fighters back then. I don't think he has it right now physically. I'm not sure if he can get back to that level that I think he needs to beat Sam Stout at, because, he can try to be the aggressor against Sam Stout, get within his range and land some powerful shots, but, I don't think he's going to be able to do that consistently with the shape he's in, you know what I'm saying? And even if he's able to get there once or twice, Sam Stout has a hell of a chin. And look for Sam Stout to just reset and just, keep it at distance again. So I got to go with Sam Stout in this one, at least 29-28. Outstrikes him. Really, I think Spencer Fisher's only shot of winning this is on the ground, and I just don't see him getting it there. So, yeah, Sam Stout for the win, UD. But now let's move on to that welterweight matchup between TJ Wahlberger and Brian Ebersole. I like this matchup because it's pretty contrasting in styles. You have the jiu-jitsu guy and TJ Wahlberger with a very aggressive guard game, very aggressive jiu-jitsu game in general, whether he's on top or, again, on the bottom. This guy's a maniac trying to go after arms, guillotines. This guy will catch you in some shit if you do get lazy on the ground. And on the other side, you have someone who's probably going to sprawl and brawl in Brian Ebersole. The guy's also a good wrestler, and he has some decent subs as well. While on the feet, he's a very flashy striker, but he probably doesn't want to get too flashy against someone like TJ Wahlberger, because Wahlberger just needs one opening to get it to the ground, and he's probably going to be better than you there. So I don't look for Ebersole to take this to the mat himself. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to play a lame game plan again like he did against Claude Patrick, where he was just trying to avoid guillotines for 3 rounds. I think he has a lot more on his plate to worry about if it does hit the ground against Wahlberger. Wahlberger is just too aggressive with the various subs he knows. He's just nuts on the ground. Yeah, I very much like that guy's guard game. I don't see him being effective with it, in this fight, because I think Brian Ebersole does have the athleticism to keep it on the feet. I think he's a good enough wrestler technically to keep it on the feet, and I think his power is good enough to knock TJ Wahlberger out. Wahlberger, I believe, was knocked out by Ricardo Funch. Yeah, it's not a good look. I think Ebersole definitely has the sprawl and brawl skills to, have a chance to knock out Wahlberger, then do so, because Ricardo Funch was able to. So yeah, I gotta go with Brian Ebersole with whatever knockout he wants in, one of the first 2 rounds. However, if it does get to the ground just once, I got Wahlberger by whatever he wants. Again, I think he's a maniac on the ground. So, I want TJ Wahlberger to win because I want to see some cool-ass submission of the night. But I don't mind Brian Ebersole winning, and I think it's most likely to happen via sprawl and brawl. So look for him to do that again. I'm going to say first or second round knockout via punches. All right, folks, now let's move on to the last bout I'm going to break down. It's the one kicking off the main card. It's between Ross Pearson and Cub Swanson. Guys, I like this bout a lot. I'm expecting fight of the night material here. Cub Swanson always brings it. The guy can get knockout of the night, fight of the night. He just goes at it no matter where it is in the fight. If he's trying to take you down, he's trying to pound you out or go for some sub. And if it's on the feet, he's trying to knock your ass out with some sort of haymaker or some shit without getting, you know, crazy wild. You know, all you need is a little bit of aggressiveness to beat someone like George Roop, and you know, Cub Swanson, you know, perfect fighter to do so, and he did. So that was kind of nasty. As soon as you get someone like George Roop out of his rhythm, you know, the sky's the limit for you. And you know, Cub Swanson exposed him. That was nice by Cub Swanson. You know, I was really impressed there. And, you know, he does have the tools. It's just sometimes he just can't seal the deal, kind of like he did against, didn't against Ricardo Lamas. He was looking relatively aggressive in the first round, looked really good there. Kind of got lazy in the second, and, of course, wound up in that arm triangle. You know, again, someone like Ross Pearson, I think he's not as well-rounded as a Ricardo Lamas, because Ross Pearson's just going to primarily keep this on the feet. And I think Cub Swanson's best chance at winning a fight, like usual, is going to be early. Now, Ross Pearson, kind of a conservative fighter, and maybe Cub is able to expose him with his aggressiveness in the first. You know, just swinging at him, making Ross back up, not getting counterpunched, and maybe going for takedowns, and maybe sealing a deal with an armbar or some shit against Ross Pearson. I don't see it happening, though. I think Ross Pearson's going to do his best to survive the onslaught that is Cub Swanson in the first round. I think from there, after Cub starts to slow down, I think Ross Pearson's going to take over with his technical striking that you might see him do from the outside. He has decent low kicks and, you know, combinations when he comes in. You know, he knows how to get within someone's reach and land some power shots, and he does a pretty good job of you know, getting in and out. And again, from a distance, he also has solid jab as well. So, you know, I look for Ross Pearson to take over in the later rounds. I'm going to say he wins 29-28 versus Cub Swanson. However, Cub's aggressiveness early, you know, may tip it in his favor come when all is said and done at the judge's decision. So I expect kind of a close fight in the end, but I think Ross Pearson does enough late to win this fight. Again, 29-28, UD via just being the better striker. And there it is, guys. I think that about does it for me for UFC on FX, Maynard versus Guida. Again, I think this is going to be better than the last card. Let's hope it is, please. And yeah, I don't know. There it is. So if you want to tell me what you guys think of my picks or the card overall, please do so in the comment section below. My links are in the description below as well. Go check those out. And I think I will see you for a review. So hopefully you stay tuned for that. So enjoy the event, guys. And deuces for all my supporters. Bruises for all my haters. Thank you again and take care.